Good morning, everyone. Myself Deepthi Negi from MSc Microbiology, second semester. Here's my presentation on the topic Xenobiotics. These are my contents. Introduction. Xenobiotics is derived from the Greek word xenos, meaning stranger or foreigner. It is a compound that is foreign to the body. The basic definition of xenobiotic is that a xenobiotic is a foreign chemical substances which is found within an organism which are not naturally produced by or expected to be present within. It can also cover substances that are present in much higher concentration than are usual. Specifically, drugs such as antibiotics are xenobiotics in human because the human does not produce them itself nor are they part of a normal food. The term xenobiotics is very often used in the context of pollutants such as dioxin, polychlorinated biphenyls, and their effect on biota. Because xenobiotics are understood as substances foreign to an entire biological system, that is, artificial system which did not exist in nature before their synthesis by humans. Now, let's talk about the characteristics of xenobiotics. Xenobiotics are lipophilic in nature, or we can say that they are lipid loving. Lipophilic are the substances that can dissolve in lipids or fat. Xenobiotics can penetrate membrane by diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of substances from higher concentration to lower concentration. Xenobiotics can be transported by lipoprotein in blood, and lipoprotein are the substances made up of protein and fat that carry cholesterol through our bloodstream. Xenobiotics require chemical conversion to facilitate excretion. The excretion of xenobiotics can be fecal excretion, urinary excretion, and other excretion like saliva and sweat. Now, the types of xenobiotics. Xenobiotics are of two types, exogenous xenobiotics and endogenous xenobiotics. Exogenous xenobiotics are the foreign molecules which are not normally ingested or utilized by the organism, but they gain entry through dietary foodstuff or in the form of certain medicines, drugs used for a therapeutic cause, or are inhaled through environment. The example of exogenous xenobiotic are drugs, insecticide, pollutants, and food additive are the example of exogenous xenobiotics. Now, the second type of xenobiotic is endogenous xenobiotics. Endogenous xenobiotics are not foreign substances but have effect similar to exogenous xenobiotics. These are synthesized in the body or are produced as metabolites of various processes in body. The example of endogenous xenobiotic is bilirubin, fatty acid, bile acid, eicosanoid, steroid, etc. And here is a figure of steroid, which is an example of endogenous xenobiotics. Sources of xenobiotics. The sources of xenobiotics can be drugs, environmental pollution, toxic food, cosmetics. First, drugs. Drug is a chemical substance which is used to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose a disease. All drugs are not xenobiotics, but drugs such as antibiotics, gentamicin, sulfadizine, amikacin are harmful to human. Now the effects of drugs. The effects of drugs causes hypersensitivity, autoimmunity. So first let's discuss about the hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity is defined as a set of undesirable reaction produced by the normal immune system. And here are some example in this figure which is showing the example of hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity can cause atopic dermatitis and allergy. Now, second effect of drugs causes autoimmunity. Autoimmunity is an abnormal immune response of an organism against its own cells and tissue. And here are some example of the drugs which causes the autoimmunity, and they can cause vitiligo and rheumatoid arthritis. Environmental pollution, the contamination of physical and biological component of the earth atmosphere to such an extent that normal environmental process are adversely affected. So here in this picture, here in this table, it is shown that different pesticides are used, which causes different pesticides are used in environment which are causing the pollution. In this table it is shown that the radiation which is caused by using these pesticide and their chemicals. As we know that pesticide are the chemical they are the chemicals which can be used by a man to prevent the pest. Here are some different pesticide which is used and their radiation and the chemical. So first pesticide is dimethoate 30 concentrate. The radiation caused by them is UV rays, and the chemical produced by them is carbon monoxide. Next is fozalone 35. Next is fozalone 35 emulsified concentrate. The radiation caused by them is rays, and the chemical which is used by them is sulfur dioxide. Now, the effects of environmental pollution. The effect of environmental pollution are lung. It can causes lung diseases, reproductive diseases, and other related diseases. So, first, lung diseases. Lung diseases can cause asthma, bronchitis, asbestos, silicosis. Silicosis among the poultry workers exposed to silica dust in clay. Reproductive disorders are miscarriage, infertility, birth defect, and other related diseases are pneumoconiosis, radiation exposure defect, arsenic hands and feet. Next source of xenobiotic is toxic food. These consist of food additives, bisphenol A and surfactants, heavy metals in water. So first let's discuss about the food additives. Food additives are the substances which is added to the food to present the flavor or enhance taste. Here are some food additives which are used: MSG and artificial sweeteners. MSG is monosodium glutamate. It is a flavor enhancer commonly added to Chinese food, canned vegetable, soups, and processed meat. The effect of toxic food can are the immediate effect can cause headache, long term effect can cause risk of cancer. Now, next is the bisphenol A and surfactants. Bisphenol A are used in chemical industries. Bisphenol A is used to make polycarbonated plastic, and the polycarbonated plastic are used for making baby bottles, reusable water bottles, and food containers. The effect of bisphenol A are hormonal imbalance, malabsorption syndrome. Next is heavy metals in water. Heavy metals in water can cause cancer and tumor. Now, the next source of xenobiotic is cosmetics. As we know that cosmetic, it is any substance which is used to clean, improve or change the complexion of your skin, hairs, nails or teeth. Cosmetic industry who uses thousands of synthetic chemicals like xenobiotics in its product, right from lipstick and lotion to shampoo and shaving cream, are harmful to the body. Here in this table, it is showing the toxic chemicals which are present in cosmetics, their products and effects. The chemical parabens. In chemical parabens are present in the cosmetic items like creams, lotion, ointments, deodorant, eye products. The effect can cause breast cancer, vision defects, endocrine disruptor. Next chemical is phthalates. The product are nail polishes, perfumes, and their effect can cause early puberty, breast cancer, weak estrogen production. Now, human exposure to different xenobiotics. Here in this picture, as you can see that the highest percentage of human exposure is from environmental xenobiotics, which is 43%. Then toxic food, drugs, the drugs and toxic food consist of 15%, cosmetic consist of 12%, and others are 10%. Now let's discuss about the environmental xenobiotics in detail. As we know that xenobiotic substances are an issue for a sewage treatment and system, since they are many in number and each will present its own problem as how to remove them. Some xenobiotic substances are resistant to degradation of xenobiotics such as polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon PHS, and trichloroethylene TCE, which accumulate in their environment due to their recalcitrant properties and have become an environmental concern due to their toxicity and accumulation. Some of the main sources of pollutions and introduction of xenobiotics into the environment come from large industries such as pharmaceutical industries, fossil fuel industries, pulp industries, and agriculture industries. Now, the metabolism of xenobiotics. The metabolism of xenobiotics occur in two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is the biotransformation of xenobiotics and phase 2 is the conjugation. So first, let's discuss about the phase 1, that is the biotransformation of xenobiotics. So before that, we should know that what is biotransformation. Biotransformation is the metabolic modification of the molecular structure of a compound resulting in the loss or alteration of some characteristic properties of the original compounds. It affects the solubility, mobility, and toxicity of the organic compound. Xenobiotics are biotransformed through any of the following reactions which are given here. These are oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis. In oxidation, they can be drugs or heavy metals. In reduction, they can be cosmetic metals, chemicals, and heavy metals. And in hydrolysis, they can be drugs. Now, first let's discuss about the first oxidation. Most of the foreign substances are detoxified by oxidation. These include amine, aldehyde, alcohols, aliphatic hydrocarbon, and sulfur compound. Oxidation of xenobiotics are carried out by a xenobiotic biotransforming enzyme. And here is a figure of cytochrome P450. It is a biotransforming enzyme which play an important role in the solubility and mobility of toxic producing molecules and its major site liver. Next is hydrolysis and reduction. As we know that hydrolysis, this reaction involved in the breakdown of any bond in a molecule by using of water. Biotransformation of xenobiotics through hydrolysis is done by hydrolytic enzyme. Here's a table which is showing different xenobiotics which is used as a drugs, their hydrolytic enzyme and their site. First is procaine, their hydrolytic enzyme is esterase and their site is liver tissue and cytosol. Next is procainamide. The hydrolytic enzyme is peptidase and the site is endoplasmic reticulum cytosol. Next is spironolactone. Their hydrolytic enzyme is epoxide hydrolase and their site is mitochondria. And the last is diisopropyl fluorophosphate, in short DFP. The hydrolytic enzyme is esterase and the site is endoplasmic reticulum. Next is reduction. Certain xenobiotics containing aldehyde, ketone, disulfide, sulfoxide, quinone, azo or nitro group are often reduced enzymatically or non-enzymatically by the interaction with some reducing agent. Here the reducing agent for paraben is FAD, flavin adenine dinucleotide, and the site is liver and skin. Next is lead. Reducing agent is flavin adenine dinucleotide and flavin mononucleotide. Their site is intestinal microflora. Next is phthalates. The reducing agent is FMN, flavin mononucleotide, and the site is epidermis. Next is arsenic. The reducing agent is NADP and FMN, and their site is liver intestinal microflora. Now phase 2 is the conjugation. Conjugation is defined as it is a process by which the foreign molecules and their metabolites are coupled with the conjugation agent and are converted to soluble non-toxic derivatives which are easily excreted in urine. Conjugation reaction can occur either independently, can follow phase 1 or can follow phase 1 hydroxylation reaction. Conjugation takes place in liver, but it can also occur in kidney. Now, the types of phase 2 reaction are glucuronidation, sulfation, acetylation, methylation, conjugation with amino acid, and conjugation with glutathione. So now, what is glucuronidation? It is the most common conjugation reaction. The compounds are conjugated with glucuronic acid. These are aromatic acid, benzoic acid, phenols, etc. Next is sulfation. In sulfation, the compounds are conjugated with sulfate. These are phenol, indole, etc. Now, next is acetylation. Here the compounds which are conjugated with acetic acid are sulfonamide, and the acetyl coenzyme is the active form of acetic acid. Next is methylation. It is limited in the body. Here the compounds are conjugated with methyl are nicotinamide, para-methyl aminoazobenzene, etc. Now, the conjugation with amino acid. The compounds which are conjugated with glycine are benzoic acid, phenylacetic acid, cholic acid, and deoxycholic acid. Now the last is conjugation with glutathione. Glutathione, it is a tripeptide which consists of glutamic acid, cysteine, and glycine. Now here are some chemical reactions which are used in this conjugation. These are the types of chemical reaction which are used in conjugation. First is sulfation. When phenol react with PABs, it stands for 3' adenosine 5' phosphate. In the presence of sulfotransferases, they form phenyl sulfate plus PAB. Next is acetylation. Here, sulfonamide react with acetyl coenzyme in the presence of acetyl transferase, and it is forming the product acetyl sulfonamide and coacetylthiol. Next is methylation, when nicotinamide in the presence of methyl transferases is reacting and it is forming N-methyl nicotinamide. Now, the factors affecting the metabolism of xenobiotics. The factor affecting of metabolism of xenobiotic is age, nutritional status, pathological status. Age. Metabolic activity tends to decrease with increase in age. Nutritional status. Poor nutritional status affect the enzyme activity in the liver. And the last is pathological status. Liver diseases also affect metabolic activity in the body. They can cause hepatoma, jaundice, and hepatitis.